Have you ever witnessed two people talking with their hands? It sounds weird, right? How can someone talk with their hands? Well, that is what people that cannot hear have to do. They can't use their voice because majority of the time they can't speak. They can't hear. The deaf, that is what the people talking with their hands are called. They are no different than you or I. They just can't hear. Today, I will be introducing you to the world behind the hand talkers and showing you just what they are all about. We will go over exactly what deafness is, sign language, and what society deems as a cure. There are two different definitions for the term deaf. First is prelingual deafness, which occurs prior to the individual's acquisition of a first language and includes deafness at birth through 3 years. There is an estimated 6.2 billion people with prelingual deafness in the world. The second type of deafness is prevocational deafness, which refers to the deafness prior to the age 19 years and occurs at twice the rate of prelingual deafness. If one has prelingual deafness, they usually have little or no speech due to the fact that they have little time to hear sound. With prevocational deafness, they had more time with sound and much better speech. Society has labeled anyone with hearing loss as deaf, but that is not how the deaf culture or scholars see it. If you were born without hearing or lost it at an early age, you are classified as being deaf. If you have lost it later in life or due to age, you are not classified as deaf, but that you merely have hearing loss. Being deaf is being part of a community, not handicapped. How the actual word deaf is written signifies two different things. Deaf with a capital D refers to the people who belong to the deaf culture community, while the term deaf with a lowercase d refers to the audiological condition. Sign language is the use of hands to speak to another, and that is what the deaf use to talk. The hands and body, including the face, are used to form visible, not audible, grammatical relationships. The facial and other gestures mark questions and indicate topic phrases and specific movements of the body, hands, and arms, and can indicate different things, even if the sign is alike another sign. It all depends on the way it is projected. Finger spelling systems are basically the alphabet for sign language, and like audible alphabets, there are differences in sign language for different regions, just as the audible languages are different. While spelling a normal letter in ASL, which is American Sign Language, you might be making a very rude gesture in a different country where the same sign means something completely different. The deaf need sign language because without it, pen and paper would need to be handy at all times. Sign language is what makes up the deaf culture and makes them unique from other people. The movement of their hands, body, and facial expressions makes for one of the most beautiful languages, in my opinion. Society believes there is a cure to deafness called cochlear implants. Cochlear implants are a technology that bypasses the outer ear through electrical stimulation of the auditory nerve. It is an operation that gives people who have significant loss of hearing the chance to hear again. Now, one would think that this would be desired by many, if not all, of the deaf world, but in reality, it ticked off a lot of people. The hearing believed that this would finally give the deaf a chance to not be disabled anymore, and that they would get a part of the normal world now. 90% of deaf children are born to hearing parents, and cochlear implants would bridge that language barrier between the two. But the deaf were hostile in the fact that they were not a disability. They were a culture, just like anyone else unique. Being deaf is who they are, and if a deaf person has a choice between being able to be hearing or deaf, they would choose to be deaf. Cochlear implants to the deaf are like trying to change a tradition or custom in another country's culture. It was hurtful to the deaf, and the hearing got the exact opposite reaction that they thought they would receive when introducing the cochlear implant. Now that you have an insight on the hand talkers, how does it feel to see inside another world inside your own? The deaf live everywhere around the world, and they are just like each and every one of us, except that their hands are their voice. With your newfound knowledge of the exact definition of deafness, sign language, and what people deem as the cure to sign language, the deaf's world can now be